There you are.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. What's happening?
Kevin's coming right now, so
All right, great.
we're all good. I just emailed you a few minutes ago an update of where we are. I don't know if you got a chance to quickly look at it, but we can
I
go over when you're ready.
I did. I got it. Looks good.
Okay, thank you.
I think it looks great.
Yeah. Okay, let me rephrase that. Looks great.
You're supposed to say, whoa, 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 settle down. It's okay.
No. I was gonna say, man, you guys are getting after this. Makes me happy. I'm telling you, most guys don't do it till a month after we do the training. So
It's good to have. It's good to have a partner, kick you in the ass and vice versa.
We motivate each other.
absolutely.
So, I
Accountability.
think I'm the shorter partner now, though. Is this like a
I
baby
gave you the
chair?
small
It's like a
chair.
baby chair.
That's it. It's a power play. It's a
It
power
is a
play.
power play. Keep getting tired.
all in the positioning.
There you
So,
go. There you go.
I'll
Look,
text him.
now I'm even. All right.
So how you guys been?
Really good. We're excited. So again, it's this is fun for us. We like launching businesses and we like getting involved, and really encouraged by that email that you got earlier this week, and looking forward to that conversation. And I think you being a part of kind of this introduction takes a little pressure off of us and trains us in a way that you envision.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good starting point. It's great timing, I think, too. So, but I don't want to ever mention that you guys were in training or just getting started. I don't, I want them to feel confident when they start working with you that you guys got all the tools and ready to roll.
You got it.
Maybe
Yeah.
you can help us when we, we've been working on the business plan of how to phrase it to make it sound like we have experience, because we do have experience in events. We don't
Absolutely, you do.
state it. So we'll
Right.
send it. I'll work on that. But we've worked with a lot of really high, caliber people, but
Yeah.
just not in the golf world. So
Well, you guys got 30 years experience in business and events, and you got the GTA with 30 years of business in golf. And I work for you. I'm your new assistant, so it's a great combination.
Awesome.
So I want to get to that logo. I want to get to that business plan. I think that's a great start. And it kind of falls into play with what we're talking about today. Especially that question you asked, how do you respond? But we're going to talk about, first of all, marketing and promotions. I want to talk about how do you guys get leads? How do you, make a presentation? How do you do promotion? And you're not going to be able to do all of these, but I want you to have all the tools, and you're going to gravitate to what gets you excited, and what becomes easier for you guys. So you got the little email that I sent last night, kind of review. So let's go through it. This is session 2 in golf tournament consultant training, and the topics today is marketing, promotion, and the sales process. So it first starts, and we talked a little bit about this last time, but it starts really with the database. And I see that you guys have already started. Are you guys used to or ever used any sales force software or any database management software in the past?
not really, no.
No.
I mean, I have my own internal stuff, but it's limited. It might be 100 people.
Right,
So,
right. Well, the reason it's important, and not that any particular brand is important or type, but it's all about keeping track. And I'm old school, so I've been using my formula forever, and it's probably not the most perfect one. There's a lot better ones out there. But the first thing that I like to do with any database is put it in an Excel chart. For me, again, you guys can put it in any software, any sales software. I would recommend looking into some type of sale. There's a lot of free stuff out there. There's Salesforce, there's Access, there's all kinds of programs, but the key thing is keeping track of what's going on. And if you guys are not working in the same office or together all the time, I found a valuable tool being Google Docs. Have you ever used Google Docs so you can share and updated information so you're not back and forth with a
We're already doing
We're
that.
doing everything, all those attachments were in Google Docs that I've downloaded for you that I sent. So we're in
Okay.
that.
All right. Well, the first thing that hit me when I saw those was the what format they were in. You do not want, I mean, and I'm glad you sent them to me this way, but you do not want to put stuff in PDF because it's a pain in the rear to try to update them and add to them and because PDF doesn't allow at least very many changes. So
Right.
so the first thing is I like to see them in Excel charts. Mainly because you can add fields, you can put in notes. But for me, I love to see, and that's what I use. I have Excel charts for everything. But then when we put it into our database, then we have to, usually change it into a CVS file for database management. So depending on how complicated or how in depth you get, but ideally, what the perfect world is going to be down the road is that you have a huge database with 5,000 tournaments, in your database. You got, you got 10,000 golfers, you have 1,000 golf courses, you have 500 suppliers, and you need their name, their location, their phone number, their email address, and then a place for comments. What's going on, what's the last conversation, and then that needs to be shared on Google Docs. And then when you start doing blast emails to all these folks, they need to be usually in a CVS file, which it looks to me, I don't even know the difference, I'm not that technical savvy, but for some reason email services like it in CVS. So keep that in mind. No, just a minor thing, but I use Excel charts for everything, it seems like, and mainly because it helps me keep notes. So that's the first thing I noticed when you sent me that list. Looks great, great start, but you're going to want the company name, the contact person, the email address, the location, and any notes that you take every time you talk with them. All right. So the most important database that you are going to have, I believe, is tournaments and outings. And there's many ways, and I just want to go through briefly on how you get these. Now, right out of the chute, I'm probably going to end up sending you 500 of them to get started. Once we finish the training and you guys get rolling, I'll start you off with I think it's around 500. That's in the Maryland area. But you're going to be constantly, that's going to be one of your everyday to-do lists, is look for organizations that put on tournaments. And there's many ways to find those. One is just an internet search. If you just put in there, Maryland golf tournaments, a bunch are going to pop up. What I like to do you guys ever use Google Alerts? Are you familiar with Google Alerts?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So every day I get 10 Google alerts, and I have different topics: charity golf tournaments, fundraising golf tournaments, celebrity golf tournaments, pro-am golf tournaments, night golf tournaments, golf-a-thons, golf marathons. I put them all in there, and I get 10 alerts, and each one of them have, and I do it nationwide. So I get 70, 80 leads a day of tournaments around the country. And so I would suggest that you start that right away and start building that database of tournament planners. And that may take a little bit of digging, because what'll happen is, now I have a administrative assistant that does this, so I don't have to do the digging, but either you're going to have to do it or hire someone to do it, maybe an administrative part-time gal or something. But when you get the Google alert, they'll give you the link to the website. There's different software out there, like or websites called Eventbrite.
Yeah.
There's several others out there that list tournaments. Then you click on their website, and then you've got to do a little digging to get the contact person and their email address. Okay. But start building that database of tournament planners every day if you can. Get Google alerts every day.
Okay.
Another way to get lists is joining groups. There's several groups that we're going to talk about, charity groups, association groups. But when you join these groups, usually you get a member directory. So if you join the charities, the AFP, you're going to get charities. If you join ASAE, you're going to get associations. If you join MPI, you're going to get meeting planners. If you join the Construction Association, you're going to get list of construction companies. But we'll talk about that in a bit. But joining groups is going to be key because you'll be able to get their member directory. We're going to talk in depth about partnering with golf courses here in a minute, but it's invaluable because on the average, a golf course will do about 50 events, outings a year on the average. Some do a lot more, some do a lot less, but on the average, it's 50. And if you get to partner with these golf courses, you're going to hopefully be able to get the list of the events that they're doing on a regular basis.
Are those outings their bread and butter? I mean, is that really what you, no?
No, not really. For the most part, a golf course makes most of their money on daily fees.
Daily fees, okay.
Unless it's a private one, and then private, obviously, on membership. Private golf courses do not like outside outings. Resorts are going to want corporate outings, but your regular public golf course is going to want their member play. But at the same time, they're still going to want to do one outing a week. And it can be good money, and it is for some courses who understand how to do it. The problem is there's a lot of work involved, and most golf courses, and I always say they're lazy, but they're really not lazy. They're just overworked and underpaid. They don't have enough time to handle all that goes into managing tournaments and do it right. So that's a challenge, but that's not their bread and butter for the most part.
Okay.
But that's a good thing for you because they can't even follow up with their customers to help them. And that's where you come in, and that's what we're going to talk about. All right, as you start partnering with vendors and suppliers, I want you to build relationships with those folks because they have clients and customers and potential customers in their database. And if you get to that point where you become their exclusive guys in your area, then they'll just start feeding you leads. And so that's a great way to get tournaments and tournament planners. LinkedIn. I don't know if you guys are in LinkedIn. If you are, we should probably connect. But that's a pretty valuable tool. You can do unlimited searches there. So let's say that you want to go after construction companies. You could just put in construction companies in Maryland, and boom, you get a bunch of people there to connect with. I take that a whole step further. I connect with tons of golf courses, tons of suppliers, tons of sales reps around the country. And then when I connect with them, their email's not there on their profile. So I have my administrative assistant go in and do digging, check out what company they're with, look at their website, and then get their email from there. So I have a database of LinkedIn of over 10,000 connections. And they're not all perfect, because people want to connect with me that are, investment bankers or realtors, and I don't really need them necessarily, but you never know. For example, you go, oh gosh, there's another flipping realtor. Well, maybe you decide down the road to do a golf tournament for realtors. And boom, now you got a database of realtors. Or maybe down the road, a realtor comes out and says, hey, we want to do a golf tournament for clients or something like that. So you never know, although you don't want to waste, connections on LinkedIn. There's a lot of stupid ones, but think through what the future possibilities. I mean, on the surface, a realtor may not be great, but you never know. So I even send out maybe once every other month, an email to all my LinkedIn connections. And there's 10,000 of them. So I say, hey, anytime you guys want to put on a golf tournament, or anytime you need help with your sales process, let us know, we can help. Nothing fancy, but I do a lot of emails to those folks.
Okay.
And then finally is phone calls. In the beginning, I really hope hopefully down the road, you won't need to do as much, but I really suggest that both of you take a list of a couple hundred and just call them, just flat out call them. And it's a great exercise. You're going to learn all the objections. You're really going to learn a lot about your area, the industry, charities, associations. So when I give you, let's say 500 leads, I'd call every one of them and say, hey guys, just want to let you know we're here with the GTAA and ACE 18, and we have a free planning guide if you need it. We're just here to serve you whatever you want. Oh, by the way, have you got a golf tournament coming up? No, we just did it 2 months ago. Oh, really? How did it go? And we're going to talk about that. But phone calls are the most powerful to me. This younger generation, all they want to do is live on emails, and there's a place for emails. Trust me, I live on emails, but at the same time, there's nothing that replaces a good phone call, a good Zoom call, because there's that connection, especially with the bigger deals,
Right.
So bottom line is, you want to build databases of tournament planners, and it's going to be a constant building list. I mean, there's no reason you should have any less than 1,000 tournament planners in your database, in an Excel chart or in a Salesforce sales program, and a place for notes. So that, let's say, for example, Make-A-Wish, you come across Make-A-Wish, you go, hey, well, I wonder if Kevin already talked to them. Let me check. Boom, they're not in your database, and then you add them.
Right.
Go ahead, Dave. You had a question?
Yeah, on the specifically the tournament planners, they can range from bill and accounting at some company that needs to put it on to people that actually put on tournaments. Is there just a wide range of that?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought it up. Yes, you never know who in the organization is going to be responsible. So what I like to have is basically, and again, it's going to depend on the size of that organization, but I like to have 3 different contacts at each group. So you're going to have, and sometimes 4. So let's say you have the executive director. That's the person on staff who runs it. They're the general manager. They run the day-to-day. Then you're going to have the director of development. They're in charge of fundraising, raising the money. You want that person. Mm-hmm. Then you may even want, ideally, the tournament chairman. In some cases, they have a volunteer who's the tournament chairman. And then I always love to have the president of the board of directors, because sometimes, and again, it's going to depend on the size. In some cases, one person does it all. Right. In other cases, you've got to go through layers of different management, groups. So, but those are the 4 key people, because those 4 people know what's going on. If they've done a golf tournament, if they're thinking about a golf tournament, if they would like to do a golf tournament, those 4 people.
I'm sorry, can you hit it me one more time? I was listening and I didn't write it down. So let me.
Yeah, the executive director.
Executive director, uh-huh.
The development of, the director of development.
Director of development, yeah.
The president of the board of directors, or the chairman.
Board of directors, uh-huh.
And then the chairman of the golf tournament.
Got it. Okay.
But down the road, I would love to see you guys with the biggest, here's the perfect world, the ultimate goal, to have everybody who puts on a golf tournament in the state of Maryland in your database. Mm-hmm. Because I want you guys to be perceived as the funnel of anything golf tournaments related in your area. Mm-hmm. So that when people think about golf tournaments, they think about you. Whether you're the event planner or you're just selling them hole-in-one insurance. And I love telling the story. One of my first consultants, a guy named John Cox out of Boston, Massachusetts, he had 900 clients. Now, about 850 of them he never saw or met or worked with personally or face-to-face, but every year they'd order something. They may just via email order hole-in-one insurance, or they may just reorder the shirts, or maybe they order hats. And then 50 of them he actually worked with very closely.
Mhm.
And that's, a good scenario to get into. Everyone knows who you are. Everyone's getting valuable information from you once a month or every other month in a newsletter. But they're thinking about you when the tournament comes up. Hey, I got to call the boys and see if they've got a new some new special item for my golfers. Or, hey, I need a trophy. Or, we're going to do an auction this year. How do we do that? So I want everyone in the whole state thinking about you when it comes to tournaments.
Gotcha.
All right. The next database you're going to want is golf courses. Do you know off the top of your head how many golf courses there are within an hour of you?
Mm,
No.
no,
Okay. Do you know how many there are in the state?
no.
Okay. So Maryland's small enough where I think you could probably get every single one of them in the state. So how do you do that? You do an internet search. I mean, golf courses in Maryland, and download every single one of them. I mean, there's Golf Now, there's the Maryland Golf Association, there's golf publications. Just do a little internet search, and it is the easiest thing in the world to find every golf course in Maryland. And I want you to have a full database of every single golf course in Maryland. And you ideally, you want the general manager's email, you want a name and email, you want the director of golf, and then you want the tournament coordinator. And in some cases, they have a tournament salesperson. And the same scenario goes with that group. That's a much easier list to get because I can't believe there would be more than 200 golf courses in Maryland.
Okay.
And but ideally, you're going to want to send an email out to those guys every other month or once a month, keeping in front of them. Because I'm going to tell you what happens. A golf course gets a tournament and they don't help them. And we're going to talk about that more. And if you're known in the area of helping tournaments, then it's to their advantage to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
So because they don't have the time or the patience or the knowledge. So it would be great if a golf course kept thinking about you and boom, would send you leads. And that's what we're going to get to.
Okay.
So find out how many golf courses there are, and ideally you want every single one of them. You're going to want to reach out to the PGA section in Maryland and work with them. We'll talk about that later. But those are the ways you get all the golf courses in your area. I see that you started working on the media with your little list here.
Yeah, those are the radio stations. We have at least a person that we know that works there and or a good relationship with the program director.
Okay, good. Now, so we want their name and their email in there.
Mm-hmm.
And all the media, because what you're going to do with that list is you want to be in front of them every month, and you want to send out a press release. And maybe the first one's going to say, we just launched ACE 18 and boom, here's all things that we do. We're here to serve and help the community and help charities raise money. Maybe that simple. But then the next month it may say, ACE 18 partners with the GTAA, national organization, that might be a press release. Then the next one might be ACE 18 partners with Make-A-Wish Foundation and helping them with their charity event. And then the next email is Make-A-Wish raises $55,000 in their charity. Bottom line is, you number one want to be in front of the media and as much exposure as possible. And that's done best with press releases, not to sound too commercially, like, hey, look at us, we do this, but newsworthy. They're not going to.
A nice constant drip. You keep
on that. Absolutely. A press release. I send out. Do you guys subscribe to the Golf Wire?
No.
It's a free service. Get on the Golf Wire and you'll get an email every day from the Golf Wire, and they talk about news, what's going on in the golf business. About 160,000 people it reaches every day, and we're in there at least once a week. And so I've gotten a ton of business from that, people just out of the blue, because it gives you a credibility like no other. Because if you're in the media, you're somebody. If you're in the media, you're real,
Right.
So press releases, if you can get a blurb on a radio station, or if you can get a blurb in a little golf magazine, whatever, it's all credible, and you're going to get clients. You never know who it's reaching.
You say you're in there every week. Are you in there based on a press release? Are you based on advertisement, or how does that work?
Well, what we do is that what they offer is a service. It's $150 a month, and I can submit as many press releases as I want. I could do them every day, but I don't do them every day. So every week I do usually two, one about the GTAA, and then one about one of our sponsors. So like last week, we did one on Vortex weather insurance, and great first line story. They're partnering with some big group, and then the week before that, we did it with another sponsor, and this is powerful for us and the sponsor, because they love us, because we're getting the media exposure. So let's say that you do something for Make-A-Wish, I keep using them, and you're successful. If Make-A-Wish gets in the newspaper or on the news, and they see it, and you highlight it to them, they'll love you forever, because that's additional value that you bring to the table, right?
Gotcha.
So the media exposure is great. That should be another monthly routine, is press releases to the media. And then ideally they're going to keep seeing you seeing your